Hello, I'm Dr. Wendy Rowley. This is the Wonder of Human Design YouTube channel, and this is the series, The Heart Tones of Women. 2 episodes left. Let's see what happens. Okay, I'm going to get out of the way. Greetings, dearest beings of light. I am Alienia of Cosmic Service, a Pleiadian Mother of Sound. We've been explaining that we've come forward for women's work to heal the heart field of the human consciousness grid, and we showed it to this one long ago when she was in her 20s. And she has been holding a ticket for a train that's coming for a long time. And the timing is such, and here we are. So, and you are ready. So, in the heart tones of women, we've talked about some things that happen in these choirs. We've talked about how they can't be recorded, they're so sacred. And we've talked about how that has to be honored. And that anyone who puts anything up on YouTube or puts this out on the web is going to have it yanked down because they're going to get contacted by this group of people who are bringing this work forward. For this one is getting together a group of people to bring the work forward. Because it takes many people to do this, create this kind of an event. And so the ability to do these tones is something anyone can do. It's not singing. It's not got to be in tone or in tune. When you do sound healing and you're moving either sound through a space, when you hit that block, your voice goes out of tune. But you keep toning through that, and eventually the sound breaks it up. Your heart, your intention with the Creator, the soul brings in the benevolent Akash healing forces of your good deeds you've done in other lifetimes and brings that over, and that gold energy, higher vibration, pushes down through and sends that thing outward and breaks it up and decalcifies it, as often used by healers, and it moves it. And then your voice will go back into tune. And it gets to be, as you do toning, especially if you do toning for healing or toning for a purpose, when your voice goes out of tune, you kind of go, oh, goody, I'm working through something. And you get over it. And it doesn't matter how good your voice is. What matters is the intent, that you're intending, that you're sounding this beautiful vibration with other women to clear the heart field, and you're in alignment with the Creator, and your souls are being used as instruments of evolution for the greater good of all, and you are confident, joyful, and uplifted. And we can tell you, joy is a big part of healing, and joy comes in after healing. But there's also a joy that can come in just for the idea of healing. And you can actually ask the Creator for the joy of healing and the sustaining of the joy of healing. And it brings in particular forces of elements and elementals that sustain that for you. Because there are many kingdoms of creation that work with humans. As weird as that sounds. So these heart tones of women are profound, they're juicy, they're sacred, and they're only used 3 times in a planetary system, beginning, middle, and end, until you become enlightened and you take your grid of all your knowledge and wisdom and golden akashas and you take it to another planet. And then souls populate it, they work the puzzle, and who knows what the next system will do, how fast that'll go into operation to be enlightened, because everyone gets faster and faster. It's interesting. And so these tones are easy to learn and easy to do because there's 2 conductors, they're up on a screen, you have a little booklet, and you have a pre-tape that you either buy in the store, or this one's going to be offering 3 live workshops this year where you can practice them, where we would be there present with them and give some channeling specific for the group that's there. Because some people won't do it unless it's a live thing. They won't do a recording in a store. So we're going to do a little of both. But we want you to understand that the intention of even doing the tones starts to change your energy field. even the practice of doing them for the first time to prepare is a vibratory signal through your higher self and soul out to the greater field, to your soul at the individual and soul group level. And it starts to change things out there. And things start to happen in your energy field that you might not be aware of. And for events of this nature that are so profound and so directed by angelics, Christ angelics, Christ higher creational beings, and the divine intelligence of the Creator, there is often a huge window that comes in the beginning, at the event, and afterwards. So for about 3 months before that choir in December, there's going to be an influx of a flood of the soul forces in. And it continues until 3 months after. And you shift, you change, you grow. And that's the nature of it. So you go to these types of things and you definitely leave knowing you're different. And you also definitely leave feeling like you're in a bubble for about 3 more months until it sort of shifts into your being. All the changes happening up at the other end of the spectrum, up at the soul level. So we want you to have an understanding that for large group events that are working profound energies, it's a big thing. It's a big thing to partake in. And the new paradigm is that it's a more benevolent thing. It used to be that it brought up a lot to heal. And it could make you, as this one says, kind of wiggy. Just, there's a lot coming up. And I'm feeling sort of off a lot. And that doesn't happen now. In the new energy, by the time this choir happens in 2025, December, in the Mount Shasta area of California, the new paradigm will be in place, and it'll be feeling more of an incoming wave of benevolence for 3 months, an incredible shift and upgrade, and then another wave of benevolence. And this is the first grid healing event where that will happen. And women will be putting into the human consciousness grid for all peoples this new ability, which will become online immediately. So other groups that start to do this are going to start to feel a shift. Now, we had told this one this was going to happen long ago, but this is the first time we've mentioned it in probably 12 years, because now it's going to happen. And that's a wonderful thing, that when you're doing something that serves the greater good of all, there's a positive feeling to let you know that. And that is part of unity field consciousness. And that's timely and profound. What we would like to do now is give you a universal life sound alignment to this new benevolent bubble that is over major group events. What's the difference between when a human decides to have an event and when divine intelligence directs humans to have an event? Different energies. Different energies. A long time ago, this one was shown and asked to look at what is it like when you create an alignment with the Creator, and what is it like when you create of your own will. And it was fascinating because the soul came in and would light up a certain level of the heart field and the lower chakras when it was you creating on your own. But when one surrendered and created in alignment with the Creator, the high heart field got enlightened, the pineal communication got enlightened with soul forces, and it was a completely different pathway of energies. It's a different event. It's a different energy pathway, and it's a different degree of depth. So there's nothing wrong with creating events. and doing positive intentions and blessings and asking for prayers and putting out good vibrations on the earth. And that's been done for a very, very long time. Monks in Nepal and Tibet and have done chants for certain spaces. So when people pass through them, they feel that wave and they can then move on. That's sort of the way it was done before. But now we've got it coming in from the other side, from the Creator down at the Great Shift. So a lot is changing. The way the systems were enlivened before is no longer applicable now. It's happening in a different way at the Great Shift. So we thought you'd like to know that. So this alignment is for an alignment to the new benevolence of feeling coming onto the human consciousness grid for women, and it will be anchored in for everyone, but it's an attunement. So an attunement is like saying to my soul, I want to align to this sound and this frequency and this intention. Help me to sort of find that path. And I'm intending to my soul that I want this. That's what an alignment is. It's like realigning yourself to that pathway and sending a message to the soul, more please. Where an activation is to bring in something new and turn it on, is one way to say it. And an activation can only happen by divine intelligence flow. It's not something that a human can say, I'm just going to go activate this. If it's in alignment with divine intelligence, that's great, it'll happen. But that's part of the checks and balances of humanity. It's a purposeful system to make sure that alignment is for the greater good of all. And down the road, way, way down, when you become more involved, you actually are so in tune with divine intelligence that your creations are all divine intelligence creations. Can you imagine that? What would your world be like then? Wow. Powerful picture, huh? Powerful picture. So you have so much more to unfold that's so beautiful and so profound. So many things. So we're going to do this alignment, which is like find that path that's new, that's coming online, and also sending a message to the soul that, yeah, this is what I'm going for. And we won't come back afterwards. And we're going to ask this one to just shut the video off. So you can find it toward the end of the tape, and there'll be one in the final tape of this series. And you can record it on your phone or record it for your computer and have it as a practice, easy and simple. And these aren't long, but if you're a meditator or a prayer person, you can get it in that space, listen to this, and then continue on whatever you're doing. And they're just called quick and easy ways. Okay, so here we go. And we're recording. We just want to make sure. Okay.